be. In this Google Classroom page, there's also a link to iReady. So if your scholar is assigned a lesson on iReady, all they have to do is click on the iReady link and it will take them directly to the iReady sign-in page. There is also virtual letter cards. So if your scholar is assigned a lesson on iReady, this is for virtual letter cards are so that your scholar can manipulate letter sounds and work on word blends. They also, the math page looks exactly like this, except it says math at the top. All of the lessons are the same. They'll be linked in. And down here at the bottom, it will have virtual math manipulatives instead of letter cards. For our pre-K or for our kindergarten and first grade scholars, we simplified the page a little bit more so it's more user-friendly for our younger scholars, but the colors and the pictures are the same. So it's still easy to navigate, but the concept is the same. For students in kindergarten and first grade, when they click on ELA, it will take them to Classroom Dojo, where their assignments will be posted on the student portfolios. You also have access to all of the Encore subjects and iReady, so that when it's time for their Encore subject, they click on the whichever subject it is, and it will take them to that Google Hangout session.
Thank you, Ms. Hammond. I appreciate that. I think we got some of the bugs out that were plaguing us early on. So I'm going to share my screen so we could go back and talk about digital citizenship, because I don't want to miss out on that part. So digital citizenship is where we want our scholars to be good citizens when they're online. And remember that online learning means that scholars will be able to collaborate and share and submit assignments. This is a public place. So whatever is posted online is something that potentially anybody can see. All digital learning requires a degree of supervision so that parents are aware of the sites that their children are going on to. Any inappropriate actions may have long-term consequences. That means if a student goes onto a site that they shouldn't be going onto, that visit to that website could stick with them for a long period of time and hard to remove off of their digital footprint. All websites are not created equal. So please try to stick to those websites that were approved by your educational institution or teacher, and help us police this online learning experience by reporting any misuse immediately. Next, we're going to have Ms. Hammond come back and talk to us about KidBlog.
Perfect. So KidBlog is exactly what it sounds like. It is a blog for children, and it is designed in a safe way to strictly monitor what students can post and who can view those posts. This coming school year, we will be using KidBlog, the KidBlog platform, for our Team Time social emotional learning program. Students will only have access to their specific team. So you'll see on this page, this is an example of what one team will look like. This is Miss Erda's team. And essentially what the blog post will look like, here's an example. Students will be able to type responses or share and collaborate with each other about some of their emotions and about some of the activities that they will be learning and going through during our Team Time program. KidBlog is great because it allows students to really hone those communication skills and their writing skills. And there's lots of different fun things, aspects to this program. They can comment on each other's posts. They can change the font. They can make it their own individual voice. But every post must be approved by the teacher before it can be posted. So again, going back to our digital citizenship, this is a way to strictly monitor and make sure that students are posting appropriate things. And if there is a mistake, the teacher does have to approve each post before it can be made public. And we really hope that students find this as a really engaging tool for our Team Time program this year.
Thank you, Ms. Hammond. We want to make sure that everything scholars do online is engaging. So KidBlog is absolutely one way that students can navigate their own writing and develop an opportunity to collaborate with other scholars. So thank you, Ms. Hammond, for that. I have jumped around a little bit because of some technical difficulties, so I apologize to the team, but I want to make sure we're back on track. Um, have we covered Clever? If not, we need to go ahead and cover that. And Ms. Hammond, you're on tap again. If while you're at, when you're finished with Clever, if you could go ahead to Nearpod, that would be awesome. Thank you.
Clever is an online digital learning hub that houses all of the digital learning apps that your scholar will be using in this coming school year. It's a single sign-in site that once you log in, allows your child access to all of the different apps that they'll be using in the coming school year. For our older scholars in 2 through 5, they can log into Clever using their school email and password by clicking on the login with Google button. For our younger scholars in K through 2, they can sign in using their Clever badge, which is like a QR code. All of the student login usernames, passwords, IDs, Clever badges, everything that you will need to sign in for any platform in the coming year will be provided to you and your scholar before we begin school. I'll just log in quickly to show you what Clever looks like from the teacher side, but it is very, very similar to what your child will see when they log into their Clever page. So you'll notice that all of the different apps that they have access to are available. And instead of signing into each one of these individually, once you log into Clever, you can click on any one of these and it will take you to that other web page. Another platform that we will be using this coming school year is Nearpod. Nearpod is a virtual slide deck presentation tool, and it allows scholars and teachers to share very similar screens as teachers go through a presentation of a lesson. What's really great about this tool is that students cannot jump ahead, that once the teacher has them logged into a session, when the teacher changes the slide, it automatically changes the slide on the student's screen for them so that they can go step by step through any lesson or activity. When a student logs into Nearpod, they'll see a screen that's split in half for a teacher login and for students. All students will need to do Nearpod is an access code, which will be provided to them by their teacher. They will get a new access code for different lessons or activities, but that's all that they will need to log in. I will log in over here just to show you an example of what that looks like from a student's perspective. So when you click on a particular lesson, it will pop up an access code. This is the code that students will type in. And then once they type in, they will see exactly what I see, which is this place value chart. I will be the only one who's able to move them through the lesson. But not only is it a tool for slideshows and presentations, but it's also an online collaborative and student engagement platform where students get to work together to solve problems, to do fill in the blank activities, and even take virtual field trips. So it's a really great student engagement and community building platform in this virtual environment.
Thank you, Ms. Hammond. I appreciate that. Um, I'm going to share my screen again and just kind of sum up what Ms. Hammond said about Nearpod so you can see on the screen. This is what she talked about in terms of Clever, that it being a hub for iReady. We're using it currently for our Summer Smart program. There are several different apps that scholars will be able to use when they're on Clever. And for our younger scholars, we have a QR code that makes it easier for them to log in. Google Classroom, you'll see this symbol on a lot of the applications that we use. Anytime there's a Google Classroom symbol, um, scholars, teachers have an opportunity to assign work to a student that will show up in their Google Classroom site. So Google Classroom is a hub where scholars' assignments and updates are housed. This is where they can collaborate and finish or work on team assignments. Grades for projects are available there, and parents have access to the grades that are in Google Classroom. This is what a Google Classroom would look like. A student would have different classes, and students would be able just to click on their class and see the assignments that the teacher would have for them for that day. Next, we're going to have Ms. Lyons Cook, who's going to talk to us a little bit about Power School Parent Portal.
Thank you, Ms. Hunter. So parents, you do have the opportunity to monitor your child's grades, assignments, and attendance through our Power School Parent Portal. The Parent Portal is an online portal accessible anywhere on the web that parents can log into and see all of your scholars in one place. So what does that mean? That means that if you have a child at Coker Wimberley, Phillips, or North, you can access all of their information with one login. This portal provides confidential and real-time access to information tied to your child or children, such as grades, attendance, assignments, and much more. So this portal also allows you to communicate with your child's teacher electronically so that information is shared on a regular, timely basis. Ms. Hunter, if you would click on the letter. So parents, if you would like to have access, the first thing you have to do is notify the office so that you can obtain the forms and the information required to create your very own personal and confidential Power School Parent Portal account. Once you have contacted the office, you will receive this letter providing you with all the information and steps necessary to log in. You will receive your parent confidential ID and password, as well as directions on how to navigate through the tabs to obtain information on your scholar and or to communicate with the teachers. Your scholar will also have access to their information as well, and they will have their own ID and password, which will be different from yours. So our hope and expectation is that all of our parents on the north side will sign up. So please notify the office so we can get you started.
Thank you very much, Ms. Lyons Cook. We appreciate that. And parents, please, please, please sign up for your parent portal, because this is a great way to make sure you're on top of the expectations that we have for your scholars in terms of their lessons and attendance. This is just a summary of what Ms. Hemmond covered already with Nearpod. That is a virtual slide deck. That live quizzes can be conducted on Nearpod. There are video opportunities on Nearpod, slides for information, and opportunities for online learning. She also covered KidBlog, which is a peer-to-peer opportunity for students to be better digital citizens. They will be using KidBlog mostly during their team time. Parents can view the student interactions, and it's only accessible to specific groups. Now it's time to see a little bit about Flipgrid. This is an application that we use for scholars to create video responses. It's very user-friendly, highly collaborative, and there's a lot of opportunity for peer-to-peer engagement. I'm going to show you what it will look like on the kids side of Flipgrid. So a teacher would assign a code that you see up here in the upper left-hand corner, where students will log on to Flipgrid. This particular Flipgrid is about a storybook character contest. Teachers will pose a question or a prompt for students to answer, and then students will record their videos. Students can see each other's videos and make comments on the videos after they're posted. Videos will be approved by the teacher prior to them being posted and viewable by all the other students. So this is a little video of that costume contest. One of our students recording her response on Flipgrid.
Harry Potter because Harry is smart and he also has two friends, Ron and Hermione. He has one enemy. He is in Gryffindor. I am also. I love reading his books. This is my question.
Okay, so they're really quick. They're about a minute to a minute and a half, but a teacher can look at that video and grade that video, and students will be able to collaborate with each other. Next, we'll have Class Dojo. Ms. Hemmond, will you speak to Class Dojo?
Of course. Class Dojo is our two-way communication between school and home. It is the best way to get in contact with your child's teacher. Everyone at Coco Rimberley, all teachers have an account, and you can use it to message us. Teachers will use it to post stories with important classroom updates. They will also post their classroom assignments, particularly for kindergarten and first grade students. Their assignments will be posted to the student portfolio page on Class Dojo, which is very similar to Google Classroom. It's just a little bit more user-friendly for our younger scholars. You can also use Class Dojo to post pictures of student work. And this is just a really easy communication tool for parents, students, and teachers to stay in contact as much as possible as we move into the new school year.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hemmond. Very similar to Dojo, Class Dojo is Seesaw. Seesaw is an opportunity for students to create portfolios or binders where student work is collected, graded, and shared, a lot like Class Dojo in many instances. Students will be able to take pictures and save those pictures, and their entire portfolio will follow them throughout their school year and beyond. So it is a great place for all of your students' work to be housed and to look back on and reflect later on. Would anybody like to add anything about Seesaw? Okay, great. We're using Seesaw. We've not really used Seesaw a lot this year, last year, but we will plan to use it a lot more this year. Assessments. Students will be taking quizzes online using some of the tools you see listed here. Mastery Connect, which they can get to through Clever. Kahoot, which is a highly competitive, really fun way to review. Nearpod, which Ms. Hemmond reviewed with you, that is one way that we can assess. She can add a quiz inside the Nearpod slides where students can take assessments, as well as Flipgrid. So video response can also be an assessment. And then there's quizzes. And I'm going to give our audience an opportunity to take a quizzes quiz so you can see what it's like on the students' end of taking these online assessments. So it's prize time. If you go onto this link, it will take you to a quiz is page that looks like this. Please type your whole name and telephone number, then click start. The person that has the highest score in the fastest time will win a $25 Amazon gift card. Yesterday's version, we had one winner who will receive her gift card very soon. So now we want to see who wins today's prize. The questions are different. So we're going to give you 5 minutes to answer these questions. And the person that has the highest score at the end of 5 minutes will win $25 Amazon gift card. And your time starts now. You have 2 minutes and 22 seconds left. One minute and 20 seconds. Thirty seconds. Ten seconds. All right, we have a winner. I'm going to stop sharing. Daquan, you have won a $25 Amazon gift card. Please send us your email address to my email, mhunter@ecps.us, mhunter@ecps.us, and we'll send out that gift card to you. Congratulations. Thank you for participating. So now you see what it's like on the kids side of an online quiz. So thank you for that. Next, we're going to have our last couple of slides. Miss Gordon Bray, if you would talk to us about our district resources.
Yes, thank you for passing along, Ms. Hunter. So we've got a couple of great resources that the district has provided as we support remote education. I'm going to ask whoever's in control to click on that first site. So if we go to the ECPS district homepage, they've got a whole site only devoted to instructional parent and student resources. So we've got some resources about social emotional learning, K through 5 learning, 6 through 8, and 9 through 12 learning. And each of these show what kind of digital resources are available. In addition to that, they show what can be done offline to support learning in terms of reading, some project-based learning, crafts, and activities as well. So this is a great one for all of our parents to go to if you're feeling a little stumped and if you're just not quite sure, how do you support your learner best? ECPS is already a step ahead. If we go back to the slides, I know, like Ms. Hunter said, you're going to see the Google Classroom symbol everywhere you go. If you just feel like, you know what, I could get some extra instruction on that, luckily, Google comes up with all of the answers, whether there are basic searches that we have, or if we actually want to know how do we support our learners in the classroom with their assignments, how to communicate, and to make sure they're staying up to date. So here Google has provided tutorials. There are both text and videos available of how to really access all of the different components of Google Classroom to make sure that both you and your learner are making the most of it. And the final is some more insight into Clever. So because Clever really provides everything in one place, it's a really good tool to make sure you understand how to use this, whether it's on your mobile phone, on a computer, and to make sure you can access it, and to just show how you can get assignments uploaded, and to communicate with teachers. So those are some extra ones we see. We do know, just like has already been happening with the Parent Academy, Coker Wimberley, as well as the other schools in the iZone, will constantly be updating and communicating with our parents about some resources to just make sure that we're all one iZone together and supporting our scholars during this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gordon-Bray. That was awesome. So parents, feel free, again, as she said, to please use our resources to better get an understanding of what your child will be experiencing in this digital age that we're in. Okay, now it's your turn. If you have questions, please feel free to go to that YouTube link and post your questions. We want to make sure we answer any questions that you have to the best of our ability. As we're updated on new information, we want to make sure that you're updated along with us. There's no such thing as a bad question. We want to hear from you so we can support you in the best way that we can. So please post your questions and we'll be happy to reach back out to you to try to answer those. And finally, we'd like you to evaluate this meeting. Now, I know we had some technical difficulties at the beginning. Please don't hold that against us. We want to know if the information we provided was useful to you. So this link that's on our web, on this video or on this session, please use that link to write us a little bit about your experience today. I'm going to leave that on the screen for you so you could access it. And Ms. Sharp, and we did not introduce her, and I want to introduce Ms. Sharp before we get off line so you all can meet her. She is our digital literacy coach, and she has really helped us make this digital learning piece happen. So we want to acknowledge her in just a moment. Ms. Sharp will add this link to our YouTube page and to our Coker Wimberley Facebook website. And Ms. Sharp, if you could just introduce yourself quickly. I'm sorry I missed you in the beginning, but you're definitely a huge part of our team.
Thank you, Ms. Hunter. Not a problem. Like Ms. Hunter said, I'm Sharonica Sharp, the digital literacy coach at Coker Wimberley, and glad to be here with you all. Thank you.
So thank you, families, for joining us tonight. This was session number 2. When you answer those questions, if there's something we need to cover in more depth, please let us know so we can come back with a next academy to make sure everybody is being successful. And as we close out, we're going to close out with a call. So when I say north side, we know how to respond. So let's get our mics off. North side.
Wrong side.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night.